Hello everybody, welcome to another session for determinants. In the previous session, you have learnt to find the values of the determinants up to order 3 and also learned the properties of determinants. Two properties you have learnt. The first property states that if the rows and columns of a determinant are interchanged, then the value of the determinant remains the same. Means the determinant value is unchanged even if you interchange the two rows, interchange all the rows and columns. That is, look at this, if a square matrix A is given and if you interchange the rows and columns, what do we get? We get the transpose of A transpose. You have learned that. So if A is a square matrix, if you interchange the rows and columns, we get A transpose. But the first property of determinant states that if the determinant value of A is equal to the determinant value of the transpose of A. Why? Because here we have interchanged the rows and columns. So according to first property, determinant of a square matrix A, determinant of A is equal to determinant of a transpose of A. This is also we can state using the first property of determinant. And the second property of determinant, that states that if any two rows or any two columns of a determinant are interchanged, if the two rows or two columns are interchanged, then the sign of the determinant changes. The sign of the determinant changes. Okay, and now we will see what is the third property. Okay, third property of determinant is, what if the two rows or two columns are identical? If the two rows or two columns are identical means the corresponding elements are equal, then the value of the determinant vanishes, means the value of the determinant becomes 0, is 0. Look at this, we will see that. For example, if delta is given as, delta is some numbers, students, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Look at this. This is first column, second column, and we have the third column, 4, 5, 0. If you observe this determinant, column 1, this is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3. You can observe that the column 1 elements are 1, 2, 3. Column 2 elements are also 1, 2, 3, means the corresponding elements of the column 1 and 2 are equal. That means here look at this, first element is 1, second element 2, third element equal to 3. So the corresponding elements of two columns are identical. So according to the property, if you expand this, you will get to know what will be this value. Look at this, if you expand it along the first column, expanding along the first column C1, we get, look at this, 1 into this. When you expand it along the first column, we write the symbols as plus, minus, plus. Diagonally the elements are positive and other 4 elements are negative. So 2 is negative here, negative 2 here, plus 1 and plus 3. So it is written as plus 1 into, delete the row and column where 1 is. So 1 is in the first row and first column. So deleting that, we get the determinant 2, 5, 3, 0 minus 2 into, 2 is the second element, the position sign is minus. Delete the row and column where 2 is, we get 1, 4, 3, 0 plus the third element is 3 into determinant of, look at this, delete the row and column, the first column and third row, we get 1, 4, 2, 5. Okay, what will be this value? So delta is equal to 1 into, cross multiply students. So here 0 minus 15 minus 2 into when you cross multiply this, 0 minus 12 plus 3 into, multiply this, 5 minus 8. So its value must be here minus 15, and this is minus of minus plus 24, and this is minus 9. Minus 15 minus 9 is minus 24 plus 24. So here delta is equal to 0 we get. That means here we had the column 1 elements are identical to column 2 elements. Identical. Look at this. We write the identical symbol using 3 lines here. Column C1, first column is identical. The elements of first column are identical to the elements of second column. So if the third property states, if the 2 rows or 2 columns of the determinant are identical, then the value of the determinant is 0. Look at the third property. We can verify it. This is an example. We have taken the example first. And verification, if you see, verification means general determinant we will consider. That is delta. Let delta is equal to, look at this. If we equate the elements of 2 rows or 2 columns, if the 2 rows are identical, for example, if you write the first row elements as A1, B1, C1, second row elements ABC, third row elements ABC. What you can say here, students? Row 1, row 2 and row 3. Here third row and second row elements are identical, A, B and C. So here R2 is identical to R3. R2, second row elements are identical to third row elements. So when you expand it, now expanding along any row or any column, we can expand along the first row. Expanding along first row R1. Expanding along R1. Look at this, plus, minus, plus. We can write the symbols first. So delta is equal to the value of delta. You know how to expand it along the first row. The elements are A1, first one A1 into determinant. Delete the row and column. The elements, remaining elements are BC, BC minus B1 into, delete the first row and second column. We have AC, AC plus C1 into third element, C1 into. This row and the row containing C1 and the column containing C1 are deleted. So the 4 elements are AB, AB. Now what is the value of this? Therefore, delta is equal to A1 into cross multiply BC minus BC minus B1 into, here also we cross multiply and get the values AC minus AC plus C1 into, cross multiply here, AB minus AB. So look at this, BC minus BC, this is 0, AC minus AC is 0, AB minus AB also 0. So A1 into 0 minus B1 into 0 plus C1 into 0. So the value of delta is equal to 0. Very important property, students. If the 2 rows or 2 columns of a determinant are identical, then the value of the determinant is 0. 2 rows, whenever you see 2 rows identical, then we can write the determinant, no need to expand it, directly we can write the value of the determinant as 0. Okay, so this is the third property, please make a note of this. Next we will go to the fourth property. Fourth property states, if any constant, we consider it as k, which is multiplied to each element of any row, any one row or any one column, then the value of the determinant or its value is multiplied by that constant k. It's also a very important property that states, if each element of any row or column multiplied by a constant k, then the value of the determinant is multiplied by k. So verification, we will verify the students. Verification. verification. Okay, so what we have, each element of any row or column of a determinant are multiplied by the constant k. So each element of any determinant, we will consider any determinant, let delta is equal to a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2, a3 b3 c3. Consider a determinant of order 3. a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2, a3 b3 c3. This is how we generally consider. Now what you have to do? Multiply one constant k with any one row or any one column. See, we will do multiply k to each element of first row. So we are going to change the first row elements. How? By multiplying k to each element. So we consider, look at the operation. How do we write this? First row elements are 1. First row elements are multiplied by the constant k. R1 elements implies R1 elements change to k times R1. K times R1, where k is a constant. K is a constant. One constant is multiplied to each element of R1. What is the meaning of this? R1 element, R1, row R1 is changing. In which way? Implies k times R1. K is multiplied to each element of R1. That is the meaning. Look at this. If we write R1 implies k times R1 means k is multiplied to each element of this first row R1. So when you multiply k to each element, what do we get? K into A1, then k B1, then k C1. Therefore, we will name the determinant as delta 1. With the delta, this is a given determinant. Now we multiplied k to each element. So delta 1 is how much? Delta 1 is written as first row elements are multiplied by k. So it is k into A1, k into B, k into C1. Second row A2, B2, C2. Third row elements A3, B3, C3. Look at this. Two rows, first, second row and third row are not going to change. The elements are as it is. Only the first row elements, we are multiplying it by k. When you expand this, you can make out that this delta 1 is k times delta, k into delta. That is what we have to prove. Okay, so delta 1 is equal to, when you expand it along the first row, we will expand it along the first row, expanding along R1, first row, row 1. So it is, we write plus, the position signs are plus minus plus, so it is KA1 into determinant value. Look at this, first row and first column elements are deleted. So the remaining elements are B2, C2, B3, C3. Minus, second element here, KB1 into determinant of. Look at this. Delete the first row and second column where KB1 lies. So the remaining elements are A2, C2, A3, C3. And the third element here, plus KC1 into, plus KC1 into, delete the first row and third column, we get the remaining elements A2, B2, A3, B3. So here you can observe K is common in each term. So it can be written as K is taken out, K into A1, cross multiply the students, B2 C3 minus B3 C2. B2 C3 minus B3 C2 minus this K is taken out. So what all remaining? B1 into, cross multiply here, multiply the diagonal elements minus the product of diagonal elements. So it is A2 A3 minus A3 C2 plus Finally, K is taken out. It is C1 into cross multiply A2B3 minus A3B2. So, this is delta 1. If you can observe, it is K times this expansion is nothing but the expansion of delta. We have taken the expansion of this delta many times. So, it is K times this expansion is nothing but of delta. We can see that, look at this, if you take this as star, we will see what is the value we get while expanding delta there. Look at this, the value of delta is, we have delta is equal to A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Now expanding along the first row, plus minus plus, expanding along first row R1, we have delta is equal to, we can write A1, first element is A1 plus A1 into determinant of B2 C2, B3 C3 minus B1 into, delete the first row and second column, A2 C2, A3 C2, C3 plus C1 into A2 B2, A3 B3. Yes, when you expand, we will have, therefore, delta is equal to A1 into cross multiply B2 C3 minus B3 C2 minus B1 into A2 C3 minus A3 C2 plus C1 into A2 B3 minus A3 B2. Just observe this, students. Do we get delta value here? So, our delta 1 is K times, this is nothing but from equation 1, we will take it as equation 1. So, this delta value is nothing but A1 B into B2 C3 minus B3 C2 minus B1 into the next factor plus C1 into the next factor. So, here we have, so that from equation 1, we can write this star as delta 1 is equal to, look at this, K times, what is there in the bracket? This bracket terms are nothing but the value of the delta. So, delta 1 equals, therefore, delta 1 equals, delta 1 value is K times K into, what is this terms in the bracket together? It is nothing but delta. Delta 1 is equal to K times delta. Very important property. So, if you multiply a constant K to any row or each element of any column, then the value of the determinant delta 1 is K times the value of the given determinant delta, K times delta. Okay? So, please make a note of this property. If each element of a row or a column of a determinant is multiplied by K, a constant, then its value gets multiplied by K. We will take down one example. Look at this. Example, evaluate example, evaluate 102, 18, 36, 134, 17, 3, 6. Look at this. How are these elements? 102, the first element is 102 here, 18, 36, then 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, after this 17, 3, 6. Is it possible to equate or make the two rows or two columns identical? We will try to get the factors of the elements of each element of any row. Look at this, these numbers look greater one, larger numbers, 102. What is 102? If you get the factors of 102, it is actually 17 into 6. Okay, and next number is 18 here. 18 you can write it as 3 into 6. So 6 is a common factor, and 36 can be written as, what is that? 6 into 6. So 6 is the common factor in these all numbers of the elements of first row. So that here let us consider delta is equal to, given determinant we will consider it as delta 102, 18, 36, 1, 3, 4, 17, 3, 6. Now how will you write this? 102 is 17 times 6 or 6 into 17. 18 is 6 into 3. 36 is 6 into 6. This is 1, 3, 4 and this is 17, 3, 6. Now look at this. First row elements are multiplied by 6. 6 is a constant which is multiplied to each element of first row. According to our previous property, what we can write this as? Therefore, delta is equal to, take out this common term, k times delta. K times delta means 6 times, here 6 is common. The element 6 is multiplied to each the number constant 6 is multiplied to each element. So 6 is taken out into. Now 6 is removed. What is left? 17. Here 3. Here 6 is removed or it taken out. It is 6. Here 1, 3, 4 and other two rows remains the same. Now observe this. First row elements are 17, 3, 6. Third row elements are 17, 3, 6 are 3. Aren't they same here? Look at this, 17 and 17 are same, identical. 3 and 3 are same, 6 and 6. Here third elements are also equal. So we can write, therefore what do we have? R1 and R3 rows are identical. How to write identical? With 3 lines. So R1 identical to R3. Therefore, what is the value of delta? 6 times. This when you expand, you must get 0. So the value of delta is 0. So the value of delta is 0 if any two rows or any two columns are identical. That is how, what the property we have used to get the value of delta here. We did not expand this, isn't it? So the first row and third row are identical we got. So its value is 0. 6 times 6 is taken out. 6 times 0. 6 times 0 is 0. So when the determinant is given, get the factors of each element. See, these are here it is not possible to get the common factors. But in the first row, we can observe that 6 is a common factor. 6 into 17, here 6 into 3, 36 is 6 into 6. So 6 is the common factor that can be taken out from the first row elements. From the first row, since 6 is common, 6 is taken out. Now, remaining elements we will write 17, 3 and 6. Observe the rows now. First row and third row elements are identical. So we have written R1 is identical to R3. Row 1 is identical to row 3. Then what happens? Delta will be 6 times determinant turns to 0. So 6 times 0 is 0. So very important result we get from this property, students. Look at this. Here if we have KA1 is the first element, KB1 is the second element, KC1. Then the second row elements are A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Then look at this. If each element of any row or any column is multiplied by K, then K can be taken out of the determinant. From first row, we can take out K and we write the remaining elements as A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. This is a very important result. Please make a note of this. So from any row or any column, common factors can be taken out. So first row elements, if K is common, we can take out K. even in second row, third row, or even columns, first, second, third columns. If any number or any term is common, term can be taken out. Okay, make a note of this, students. So, 4 properties you have learnt. The next one is the fifth one. Fifth property states, if the given determinant is in such a way that each element of any row or column is the sum of 2 terms. If each element of a row or a column is the sum of 2 terms, then the value of the determinant is sum of 2 determinants. What do you mean by that? If each element of a row or column is the sum of 2 terms means, look at this, let us consider the determinant as, first row elements are sum of 2 terms, that is A1 plus sum 1, alpha 1, and the second elements are A2 plus alpha 2. Sum of 2 terms, right? Here the first element is sum of A1 and alpha 1. Second element is A2 plus alpha 2. Third element is A3 plus alpha 3. The first row elements are the sum of 2 terms. First row elements can be expressed as the sum of 2 terms. Second row and third row elements are only single numbers like B1, B2, B3. C1, C2 and C3. If the given determinant is like this, then what is its value? Its value can be written as sum of 2 determinants. Which 2 determinants? Here it can be expressed as sum of 2 determinants. These 2 determinants are, look at this, first row elements, it is the sum of 2 terms. Second row and third row are as it is, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. So, second row and third row there is no change even in these 2 determinants, but first row elements we split it into 2. Okay. So, here the second row same, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3, third row. Here also B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. But what about first row elements? Here sum of 2 terms, right? So, we write for the first determinant we write only A1, A2, A3, right? These 3 only, A1, A2, A3. For the second determinant we write the next elements, that is alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3. That is how we split this into 2 determinants. Please try to understand this. If any row, each element of any row or any column can be expressed as a sum of 2 terms, then its value is sum of 2 determinants. We can split this into 2 determinants, but the condition is only the one row elements are written as sum of 2 terms. If all the rows and columns are written as sum of 2 terms, we cannot divide into 2 determinants. Remember this, students. Only if the first row elements or first column or any row or any column, the elements are written as the sum of 2 terms, then the value of the determinant is sum of 2 determinants. This is written as sum of 2 determinants. How to write the 2 determinants? Only look at the 2 terms. In the first row here are the 2 terms are there. So, in the first determinant write the first term, in the second determinant write the second term, and the remaining rows and columns write as it is. There is no change. Okay. Now, we have to prove this. So, write the statement, students. If each element of any row or column can be expressed as the sum of 2 terms, the sum of two terms, then the value of the determinant is, then the value of the determinant is the sum of the sum of two determinants, the sum of two determinants. So we have to prove this. First we will see what is the value of LHS. First we will expand the LHS part. LHS is equal to, expand this, LHS values are A1 plus alpha 1, A2 plus alpha 2, A3 plus alpha 3. Yes, you know how to expand this. Expand it along the first row, students. B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Expand it along the first row, plus minus plus. Expanding along the first row, R1, expanding along R1, which is equal to, first the position sign is plus, so it is A1 plus alpha 1 into determinant, leave the row and column, first row and first column, remaining elements, write it as a determinant, B2, B3, C2, C3, minus the second element, A2 plus alpha 2, leave the row and column, first row and second column, it is B1, B3, C1, C3, plus the third element here is A3 plus alpha 3 into, what is this? Expand it, deleting the first row and third column, it is B1, B2, C1, C2, which can be written as, what we will do, first multiply A1 to this determinant, then alpha 1 to this one. So we will split this as A1 into, look at this, B2, B3, C2, C3, or you can even expand this, A1 plus A1 first we multiply to determinant plus alpha 1 is multiplied to this determinant, or you need to write it as terms, expanding. In the next step we write alpha 1 into, cross multiply this, B2 C3 minus B3 C2 minus A2 plus alpha 2 into, cross multiply this, students, we will have B1 C3 minus B3 C1 plus A2 plus alpha 3 into, when you cross multiply this, B1 C2 minus B2 C1. Alright, now look at this binomial multiplication. First A1 is multiplied to this term, then alpha 1 is multiplied to this one. Here A2 is multiplied to whole term in this bracket, then alpha 2 is multiplied to this term. A3 is multiplied to this term, then alpha 3 is multiplied. So we write, first we multiply the first elements, A1, A2 and A3, plus next we multiply alpha 1 with the other element. We will make it as 2, we will first write A1 and this multiplication, A2 and this term, A3 and the term inside the bracket, then alpha 1 and remaining terms. So it is A1 into B2 C3 minus B3 C2. We will write this alpha 1 into this term later. Okay. So here minus A2 into B1 C3 minus B3 C1 plus A3 into B1 C2 minus B2 C1 plus, now multiply this alpha 1 with this, alpha 1 into B2 C3 minus B3 C2 minus alpha 2 into B1 C3 minus B3 C1, isn't it, plus alpha 3 into B1 C3 minus B2 C1, B1 C2 minus B2 C1. This is nothing but LHS. LHS. Now we will see what is RHS. RHS is the sum of two determinants. You know how to expand this? Expand the first determinant along first row, second determinant along first row again. So RHS is equal to A1, A2, A3 B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3 plus the second determinant. We write that alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Now, what is this? When you expand this, you know how to expand. Expanding along first row. Expanding along first row, R1. We get here plus minus plus, plus minus plus we write. Do we get the same term as LHS? Look at this. Here it is A1 into, you know how to write this very well. Expanding along the first row. B2, B3, C1, C3 minus A2 into, delete the first row and second column, B1, B3, C1, C3 plus A3 into B1, B2, C1, C2. Similarly, for the second determinant, it is plus alpha 1 into B2, B3, C1, C3 minus alpha 2 into B1, B3, C1, C3 plus alpha 3 into, expanding along the first row students, it is B1, B2, C1, C2. Aren't they equal here? Which is equal to? RHS is. RHS is equal to, look at this, it is A1 into B2, C3 minus B3, C1 minus A2 into B1, C3 minus B3, C1 plus A3 into B1, C2 minus B2, C1 plus alpha 1 into, the same way, cross multiply this, B2, C3 minus B3, C1 minus alpha 2 into, right here, the next row, minus alpha 2 into B1, C3 minus B3, C1 plus alpha 3 into B1, C2 minus B2, C1. Look at this RHS and LHS. Since the two values are equal, we can say that since LHS is equal to RHS, the given statement is true. Therefore, LHS is equal to RHS. Hence, we can write as a sum of two determinants, if the given determinant is such that if any row, in any row or any column, the elements can be expressed as sum of two terms. When you solve the example, we will get to know very clearly, students. So, if in the here the first row elements are sum of two terms. Remember, next rows are only single terms. We cannot write it as sum of two terms here. So, the second row only one numbers are there, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. And it can be represented as sum of two determinants, where the first determinant is taken as the first elements only, A1, A2, A3, and the second and third rows are same like this. And the second determinant is such that we have taken the next element, alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, then the second and third row are exactly the same as LHS. So, here we get the fifth property. Please make a note of this. We will see, we will do one more example of this. Note down one example. Show that, example, show that determinant of A, B, C, A plus 2x, B plus 2x, 2y, C plus 2z, x, y, z is equal to 0. This is the sum. Say, using property you have to show, not expanding this. Using property you need to show that this determinant value is 0. Okay. So, we consider LHS first. Consider A, B, C, A plus 2x, B plus 2y, C plus 2z. x, y, z. Look at the determinant. Can you observe that in the second row, each element is sum of two terms, right? So, in the second row, this is first row, second row, third row. In the second row, each element is sum of two terms. So, according to our previous fifth property, we can split this into two determinants. We can write it as sum of two determinants. So, here second row elements are sum of two terms. So, what you can write? It can be expressed as sum of two determinants, correct? So, it is written as sum of two determinants. How the determinants are written? Sum of two determinants. First determinant, only the first row and third row exactly the same in these two. How it is there in the given determinant as it is. But the second row, since it is sum of two terms, in the first determinant we write only A, B, C, and in the second determinant we write 2x, 2y, 2z. So, it is A, B, C, okay, and here first and third rows are same, x, y, z. Here also A, B, C, x, y, z. Second row elements are sum of two terms. So, in the second row we write here as A, B, C, and here the second terms are 2x, 2y, 2z. Did you understand this, students? First row, first determinant, first elements are only written A, B and C, right? Plus second elements 2x, 2y and 2z for the second row, second determinant elements. Look at this. What about the elements of first determinant here? R1, row 1. Here this is row 1, this is row 2. Row 1 and row 2 elements, if you observe, the elements are identical. Yes, our property states that if the two rows are identical, the value of the determinant is 0. So, here since the first row is identical to second row, since R1 is identical to R2, the first determinant turns to 0. This is 0. Why? Because R1 and R2 elements are identical, A, B, C. Corresponding elements are equal. Corresponding elements are equal. So, it is 0. Plus, what about this? Here you can observe that the elements in the second row have the common factor 2. 2 into x, 2 into y, 2 into z. So, this 2 is a common factor. Can we take 2 outside here? Yes. It is written as 2 into determinant of A, B, C, x, y, c. 2 is taken out. So, only x, y, z are left. X, y, z, and this is same x, y, z as it is. Now, observe this determinant, students. Second row R2 here, the elements are x, y, z. Third row elements are again x, y, z. They are identical. The second row and third row elements are identical. R3 are identical. Since R2 is identical to R3, row 2 and row 3 elements are identical, this determinant also turns to 0. This is 0. So, which is equal to, so what do we get the element as? 0 plus 2 into 0 again. This is 0. So, it turns to 0. So, the given determinant is 0 here. While applying by applying the properties, we have proved the given determinant is 0. We didn't expand this. We did not expand. We just used the properties. Which property? The previous property where it states that each element is a sum of two terms. Then we divide it into two determinants. Okay, that's one first thing. Now observe the first determinant. Two rows are identical. R1 ABC, R2 also ABC. So this determinant value is 0. Plus here 2 is common in the second row. We take out that 2 from the second row. Remaining elements are ABC, XYZ, because 2 is taken out, XYZ. Observe the rows the second and third rows, R2 and R3, they are identical. So this determinant also turns to be 0. So 0 plus 2 per times 0 is 0. So that is how we proved that the given determinant is 0 using only the properties. Here from this we get to know that if you observe here the second row and third row students, second row elements are 2x, 2y, 2z. Okay. Third row elements are x, y, z. See, these two row elements R2 and R3 elements are proportional, 2x, 2y, 2z. This row, the third row's elements are x, y, z. So if the two rows or two columns are proportional, the elements of any two rows or any two columns are proportional, then the value of the determinant is also 0. So one more property we got, that if the two rows, the same property, what is that? Two rows are identical, the value of the determinant is 0. Also two rows or two columns, the elements of two rows or two columns are proportional, then also the value of the determinant is 0. Please make a note of that. So note down. Note, if two rows or if the elements of two rows or two columns are proportional, then its value is, the value of the determinant, is 0. Value of the determinant is 0. Please make a note of this. Just a note. Now we go to the sixth, last property. Last property is also very, very important. Most of the problems we solve using this property. It states that, very simple students, if you have two rows, if you add up the two rows, the determinant value is given, determinant is given. If you add the two rows, even if you add the two rows and write it in one row, or even if you add the two columns or subtract the two columns, value of the determinant remains the same. There won't be any change. That states, if the two rows or two columns are added, or three rows are added, three columns are added, then also, or three rows or columns are added or subtracted, then also the value of the determinant remains the same. So the statement is, note down, sixth property. Property 6. If each element, note down, if each element of a row, in bracket you write, or a column, is added with the equimultiple of any other row or column, equimultiple of the elements of any other row or column, then the value of the determinant remains the same. So each element of a row or column is added with the equimultiple of the elements of any other row, the elements of any other row or column, then the value of the determinant remains the same. What's the meaning of this? one row elements are added with the other row elements multiplied by some constant k, then also the value of the determinant will not change, it remains the same, it is unchanged. It is as simple as, even if you can add the two rows, value of the determinant will not change. Even you can add the two rows or two columns, value of the determinant will not change. That is what the sixth property. So we will prove this, students. Let us consider verification. Verification. Let delta is equal to, we take one determinant of order 3, A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. So delta is taken as A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Let it be. Now, what we have to do? Add the two rows or add the two columns. But the second column you multiply by some constant. It is possible to multiply by some constant also. That means what we will do, see this is R1, this is R2, R3. Okay? We will add the first row and third row elements. Along with the third row element, some constant we multiply to that. Try to understand. R1 plus R3 multiplied by constant k. So let us apply. Let R1 implies, R1 only we are going to change. First row elements we are going to change. How? R1 plus first row elements plus third row element. What is the third row element denoted by R3 multiplied by some constant k. Okay, so what we are going to do, R1 elements are added to R3 elements, multiply R3 elements with the k constant, then also delta remains same. The determinant value will be same. Okay, so what we are going to do, R1 plus k times R3, where k is a constant. K is a constant. K is a constant. There won't be any change. Delta remains delta only. So let us consider this as delta 1. Let delta 1 is equal to delta 1. How did we get delta 1? How do we get? R1, first row elements we are going to change. See, if you write this way, R1 changes to R1 plus k times R3 means R1 first row elements are, we are changing first row elements. Second and third row elements remains the same. So R1 changes to R1 plus this one A1 plus k times R3, k into C1. So what is the first element? A1 plus k times corresponding elements of R3 is C1. A1 plus k times C1. Similarly, do for the second element of R1. Row 1, A2 plus third row element C2. K is multiplied to C2. What about the third element A3? A3 plus k multiplied by C3. That is what our delta 1. Look at this. So first row elements are A1 plus k times C1. Second element A2 plus k times C2. A3 plus k C3. We have written. Second row, third row. See, we are changing only R1. Not at all R2 and R3. R2 and R3 we write the same. R2 is what? What are the elements? B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Now expand this along the first row, or look at this, it is nothing but the sum of two terms. The first row elements are sum of two terms. Is it possible to split this into sum of two determinants? Yes, our previous property states that if the first row elements are sum of two terms, then the value of the determinant is sum of two determinants. See here, first row elements are the sum of two terms. The sum of two terms. So we split this as sum of two determinants. So what is our delta 1? Therefore delta 1 is equal to sum of two determinants. So what are the two determinants we write here? What are the two determinants here? So second and third row will not change. Only the first row elements are, for the first determinant, first row elements are A1, A2, A3. For the second determinant, first row elements are KC1, KC2, KC3. Okay, so we will write in the next place here. So this will be delta 1 is, our delta 1 is sum of two determinants. We have to write the sum of two determinants. What are the determinants here? Second and third row remains the same. B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3 as it is. Here also second row B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Only the first row elements are changing. How? First you write A1, A2, A3 as the first row elements. A1, A2, A3. For the second determinant remaining KC1, KC2, KC3. KC1, KC2, KC3, second row elements. Okay. Now we know A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3 is our delta, given a given determinant, this determinant. So delta 1 equals, this is delta plus, this is nothing but the given determinant. We have taken this as delta plus. Here observe this, students, first row elements are such that it has a common factor k. K is multiplied to each element so that this k can be taken out. K is taken out from the first row. So the remaining elements are, k is taken out. What is left? C1. Here C2. K is taken out. So C3. Remaining elements are as it is. B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Now observe the second determinant here. C1, C2, C3 is a first row element, are the first row elements. C1, C2, C3 are the third row elements also. Aren't they identical? R1 and R3. Row 1, this is row 3. Row 1 and row 3 are identical. Since R1 is identical to R3, what about the second determinant? It turns to 0. This turns to 0. Therefore, delta 1 is equal to, first determinant is delta plus k times 0. What is the reason? R1 and R3 are identical. So delta 1 is equal to k, delta plus k times 0. K times 0 is 0. So what did we get? Delta 1 is equal to delta. Delta 1 is equal to delta. Very, very important property, students. Even if you change the determinant in such a way that the R1 is added to k times R3. So the first row elements are changed in such a way that the first row elements are added to the corresponding elements of the third row elements multiplied by the constant k. Then also the value of determinant delta, even if you change it, delta 1 is changed in such a way that R1 implies R1 plus k times R3. Then also this delta 1 is nothing but delta. It remains the same. The determinant remains the same. Okay. This is the sixth property. So similar way, we will have two more note to take down that states that, very simple one, and one example. Example, just take down one example, students, using this one. Example, using the sixth property. If it is given as A minus B, B minus C, C minus A, B minus C, C minus A minus B, C minus A minus B, B minus C is equal to 0. Show this. Show that this determinant value is 0 without expanding, using the determinant value, properties. So using the properties, you have to show this determinant value is 0. Look at this. You can add, here the sixth property states that even if you add or subtract the rows or columns, the value of the determinant remains the same. That means, look at this. Consider the determinant A minus B, B minus C, C minus A. B minus C, C minus A minus B, C minus A minus B, B minus C. Given determinant, LHS we consider. LHS equals. Okay? Now, we will substitute in such a way that is it possible to get zeros while adding rows or columns? If you add A minus B plus B minus C, what will happen? A minus B plus B minus C plus this one also we will add C minus A. When you add up these all, look at this, plus A minus A, plus B minus B, plus C minus C. Everything is cancelled, so you will get 0. You know, it is easy to expand or find the value of the determinant if we get maximum zeros, correct? So, we will do, look at this, here C1, column 1, column 2, column 3. Our sixth property states that it is possible to add or subtract the rows or columns, then also delta value remains the same, determinant value remains the same. So, we are going to do apply C1 changes to C1 plus, C2 plus, C3. Add all the columns, C1 plus C2 plus C3. So, we are going to change the first column elements. So, LHS equals first column elements. How do we change? C1 first column elements are C1 plus C2 plus C3. So, what are the elements here for C1? A minus B plus B minus C plus C minus A. What do we get? 0. Okay, try to understand this. Now, C1 plus C2 plus C3 for the second element of column 1. So, this one, add it up, B minus C plus C minus A plus A minus B is how much? Even if you add C1, C2, C3 here, we will have plus B minus B plus C minus C plus A minus A, it turns to 0. So, go on adding this way, we will get 0. Since C1 changes to C1 plus C2 plus C3, go to the third element. Here the third element is C minus A. Add the next column elements, C minus A, this is C minus A plus A minus B plus B minus C. What do we get? Plus C minus C plus A minus A plus B minus B cancel, we will get 0. So, here also 0. So, the remaining elements will not change, only column elements. So, it is B minus C, C minus A minus B, C minus A minus B, B minus C. Only the first column elements we got 0. So, what is the value of LHS? If each element of any row or column is 0, the value of the determinant is also 0. That is a note we have to take down. So, here expanding along C1, expanding along C1, we have 0 plus any term. This is plus minus plus. Everything is 0 here in the column 1. So, when you expand it along C1, the determinant value is 0, which is RHS. So, LHS is equal to RHS, hence the proof. Okay. So, here we applied the property, sixth property, which states that even if you add all the columns element, C1 plus C2 plus C3 and change the column 1 elements as C1 plus C2 plus C3, the value of the determinant remains the same. So, we applied C1 changes to C1 plus C2 plus C3 and got the same result as RHS. So, from this we got the conclusion that if in a determinant all the elements of any row or column are 0, then the value of the determinant is 0. That means, note, in a determinant, look at this, each element is of any row or column is 0. Each element of any row or column is 0. then delta is also 0. Value of the determinant is 0. That is very important property, because if you find all the elements 0 here, directly write the determinant value as 0. That is a note you have to take down. Note 1. Similarly, note 2. What if the given determinant is a diagonal matrix? If it is a determinant of a diagonal matrix. What is a diagonal matrix? You know, diagonal matrix means it is a matrix with the elements below or above. One side of the elements of the principal diagonal all are zeros. So in that case, what is the value of the determinant? If A is a diagonal matrix like 1, 2, 3, 0, 4, 5, 0, 0, 6. It is called as a diagonal matrix. Why? Because one side of the principal diagonal, this is principal diagonal 1, 4, 6. One side, all the below, the elements below the principal diagonal all are zeros. Here the elements below the principal diagonal, all the elements below the principal diagonal are 0. So it is called as triangular matrix. Triangular matrix. It's actually called as upper triangular matrix. The elements below principal diagonal all are 0. So it is upper triangular matrix. So if the given matrix is upper triangular or lower triangular matrix. What do you mean by lower triangular matrix? If all the elements above principal diagonals are zeros, then it is called as lower triangular matrix. Okay, so if the given matrix is a triangular matrix, then this determinant A is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 0, 4, 5, 0, 0, 6. If you expand it along the first column, we just have 1 into determinant of 4, 5, 0, 6. That is 4 into 6. That means if the given determinant is the determinant of a triangular matrix, then the value of the determinant is the product of the elements of principal diagonal. Its value is nothing but 1 into 4 into 6. That is what the properties of the note says. So 1 into 4 into 6 is 24. How is this? The determinant of a triangular matrix is nothing but the values of the product of the values of the principal diagonal. Because when you expand it along the first column, look at this, expanding along C1, first column, what do we have? 1 into, this is plus minus plus, 1 into determinant of 4, 5, 0, 6. Eliminate the first row and first column. What do we have? 4, 5, 0, 6. Then the second element is minus 0 plus 0. So what is this? 1 into 4 into 6. 4 into 6 minus 0, or it is 1 into 4 into 6 or 24. So that directly we can find out if the given determinant is a determinant of a triangular matrix, then the value of this is the product of the elements of principal diagonal. The value of the determinant is the product of the elements of a principal diagonal. Principal diagonal means the diagonal which starts from the top left to the bottom right. Principal diagonal. If the given determinant is a determinant of a triangular matrix, the value of the determinant is the product of the elements of a principal diagonal for the diagonal, the determinant of the triangular matrix. Determinant of a triangular matrix. Triangular matrix. We can make a note of this, students. That means if the given determinant is a determinant of triangular matrix, then its value is the product of the elements of the principal diagonal. Okay, till now we have you have learned the properties, different properties of determinants. In the next session, we will solve the problems based on these properties. Okay, thank you.